have a theory that when people do this on social media, it means that there's just something that's just not right. Plus, what one guy has done with his daughter to ensure her virginity, and what exactly is the secret sauce to winning really big prizes? That and more on Imperfect by Design. Welcome to Imperfect by Design. All too often in life, everything is painted as this perfect picture. We got filters, we got standards, everyone looks wonderful. But the reality is, in life, not everything is perfect. This is our forum where we share stories, we laugh, and we embrace imperfection because this is Imperfect by Design. I'm your host, KT Harris, DC media personality, joined by the one and only Melinda Jefferson.
Hey, Coasty with the Mosty.
Costa with the Mosty. This has been like the craziest 48 hours for me ever. I decided to do the cucumber juice cleanse.
Oh, what?
I was inspired because I saw my mom, and my mom's like, Hattie, you're getting bad in your belly.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, this cucumber juice cleanse is going to be awesome because it's supposed to detox your liver, weight loss, flatten your belly. Day one, my friend Melissa and I, we grind up the cucumbers. We're ready to go.
Okay.
And within 8 hours, I was puking, like heaving to my deathbed.
Oh,
and
no.
so as if that's not bad enough, I finally recovered today. And as I recovered today, I'm going, I'm at my other job and I'm thinking, okay, well, the podcast is coming up. I got to add like special eye cream and make sure that I'm looking all glorious. So I put my eye cream on. And then a couple hours later, a customer comes in and I'm talking to him and he's like really smiling at me. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And so as soon as he leaves, I look in the mirror and I realize the eye cream that I put on my eye has caked up into like a white pasty form.
Oh, no.
And I'm sitting here going, why does this happen to me? Just craziness. So how was your week?
Oh, pretty good. We just had Veterans Day, and I was able to spend some time with my family. All of us were in the military. My dad was in the Air Force, my sister in the Army, and we took advantage of all of those awesome restaurant deals. So IHOP breakfast, we had Applebee lunch. It was great. And can I talk a little bit about the hero of the week?
Absolutely.
You know what? Because we just had Veterans Day, our heroes of the week are our U.S. military. All branches from the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, Air Force, National Guard, Navy. We salute you. Thank you so much.
Well, being a military brat myself, I know that the sacrifice that families make, and you, of course, did some time with the Coast Guard, Coasty with the Mosty, which is funny because somebody said, is she the hosty with the Mosty? I said, no, Coasty as in Coast Guard. Thank you so much for sacrificing so much for our country. Now, on the line right now, we have somebody that has got some secret sauce for us. One of your personal friends, Melinda.
Oh, yes. Leanne, we are so excited because she has won hundreds of different type of sweepstakes and giveaways, and we definitely want to find out a little bit more of how she got involved.
Now, you were telling me that at one point, like, she gave you hints on how to score, like, you won big time. And once I heard that, I was like, I need to know more.
Yeah. Okay. So, we belong to like a support group, and she definitely sent me a link, and it was a sweepstakes on winning hometown games at the Washington Redskins FedEx Field. And sure enough, I entered my email. I did everything she told me to do, and I won like the whole season last year. I got to go to the games for free, plus bring a guest. So it was awesome.
All right, Leanne, tell us about the secret sauce. What do I do? I want to go on vacation in the Bahamas.
Yeah, so I look for, one, I would use Twitter as like a search tool for things that I want to win. I think it's like perfect for that because you'll basically, when you type in like, I want to win trip X, like win trip California or win trip Paris or win trip,
That is, what? I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
So, because what happens is you'll pull up, of course, other people tweeting that they've entered these sweepstakes or contests. So that's where I find information about what contests are out there. And if it's something that's like a popular city like Los Angeles or something, you're probably going to find a lot of tweets. So I kind of stick to only looking at the top tweets. But when it gets into something that's not given out super often, like the Super Bowl, something very specific, Winship Super Bowl, I look for the latest tweets so that I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
So that's how I find like small contests from like local companies, and then also big sponsors like Pepsi, where I probably won't win. But I also find like more local companies that aren't Super Bowl sponsors, but are giving away trips under like the title Big Game or something.
So Leanne, isn't it important?
So that's how I win tickets.
Isn't it important that they have to follow everything a part of the sweepstakes, right? Like tagging people, using certain hashtags, right, in order to win?
Yeah. So the hashtags are definitely important with social media. One of the first things I always do when I see a sweepstakes or contest is I look up that hashtag. So I click on it on Twitter or look it up on the tags for Instagram to see how many people have entered. So that kind of, I know where to like spend my time. Like if it's like 10,000 entries, then that your chances are pretty low. But if you see like 100 entries, I'm like, okay, maybe I can actually win this.
Yeah. And what was your favorite? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
What was your favorite prize yet? I mean, like you've won some like big ones, girl.
Yeah, so I won like a total of like 10 trips over a 6-year period. So almost like a little bit more than one a year. And probably the biggest prize, in terms of value, has been a trip to Dubai. But my personal favorite was probably Super Bowl 52 to Minneapolis. So it was winter, it was 0 degrees, but I had a lot of fun at that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was well organized. I loved my prize. So
tell a little bit about the prize. Like all expenses paid pretty much. The airfare, like, your hotel.
Yeah. So this was from Taco John's, which people, I think it's a Midwest taco chain. So I actually wasn't familiar with it. But I found it by like looking on Twitter to win trips to the big game. I also type in alternative terms in addition to the Super Bowl big game so I can find other sweepstakes like Taco John's. And the good thing about this type of sweepstakes was it was only open to certain states that had this chain. So it wasn't open to the whole United States. It was only open to like Midwest and Virginia, I think, because there's certain locations here, but not anywhere near us, not in the DC area. But because I was a Virginia resident, I still was eligible. So I never heard of this taco chain.
But yet you won.
But I haven't. Yeah, but I won. But I entered. So it required work, though. Like you had to download their app, which I did. And then you had to like enter on their app, like play a little like scratcher game. So it's the scratcher didn't tell you like that you won, but the scratcher like gave you coupons for the tacos, which I would never use because I don't have access to this taco shop. But they had my email. So I want, and they only notified me like 3 weeks before the Super Bowl. So it was like really last minute. And it came as an automated email, like you can tell. So I knew it was probably legit because I've won things before, but I was kind of also like, I'm not going to like spread the word until I get the signed papers. Because it was just an automatic email, like fill in the blank, you've won a Super Bowl.
That is true because when I won the sweepstakes for for example, Washington Redskins, you had to get it notarized, and at a certain value, you will have to pay certain taxes. So those tickets that I, were quote unquote free were actually valued close to like $2,500. So yeah, that's another thing that people need to understand when you win some of these prizes.
Got to pay the taxes because Uncle Sam wants his money. Well, thank you so much for giving us some of that secret sauce. So it sounds like you can win these prizes. A little bit of effort, a little bit of work, a little bit of use of social media and Twitter, but these things are absolutely 100% attainable.
Yes, definitely.
Great. Now I just need a contest that will help me meet Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on Imperfect by Design.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Now, we have got to talk about a couple things that have been in the news. Number one, the Popeye sandwich. Now we are in Virginia, DC, Maryland, Virginia, kind of like that area, that trifecta. In Maryland, a man got stabbed over a Popeye sandwich.
That is just so, oh my gosh, so sad. I mean, over chicken. I mean, I hate to laugh, but it's just kind of like, really, people? I mean...
Okay, so now here are my thoughts. First and foremost, you have not had the Popeye's chicken sandwich.
No, because I refuse to like stand in line for that foolishness.
So you do not understand the power of the Popeye's chicken sandwich. I've eaten it. I understand.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to say this. If you are in Prince George's County and you jump the line when people have been waiting for an hour, nothing good will ever come of that, ever. Now, there are lots of rumors that the guy wasn't really cutting the line. It was his girlfriend that he was going to go see. None of this factual. I'm just going on rumors. But again, if you are in certain areas, I don't care. You do not cut the line.
They don't play.
Don't mess with the chicken sandwich. The other thing that I've got to talk about, probably gross, probably disgusting, but a very real thing. Rapper T.I., during an interview, admitted that he escorts his daughter to the gynecologist every year on her birthday to ensure the fact that she is still a virgin.
Wow.
And he recently escorted her on her 18th birthday. That is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why would you want to do that with your daughter? Number one. Number two, that's something that's really personal.
Yeah, that's totally personal and private. But I will say that, when I joined the military, I had to go to a gynecologist. Like, we all went to, boot camp scenario, and they were checking to make sure people were not pregnant. And it was very interesting. I can kind of relate to that because I was, a virgin going into the military, and I didn't have my period until I was 18, so I didn't know what to expect. So it was very, I know my dad, there was like 4 of us girls. I think I would like freak out.
Yeah, you grew up in a really strict family.
Yeah.
My family was strict. It just didn't do any good for me. But you know what? And I do have to admit, and this is something that I'm probably going to take some heat for, being a single mom with my son, and when it came to sex, I did not know how to handle it. I really genuinely didn't. I'd never been a mom before, and I didn't really have a normal upbringing.
Right.
So when I was laying with my son one night, we're reading a book. He's 7 years old, and he starts asking me questions about sex. And he's like, well, Mom, what happens when people have sex? And I don't know how to handle this.
Oh my gosh.
So I told him that when he was born, that me and his dad implanted a chip in his penis. And so that if he ever had sex, I would know about it. So he should choose wisely to make sure that he is thoroughly in love with that person, because we will get text messages. Of course, he doesn't know how to handle this. And he tells his dad, and next thing you know, my ex-husband's calling me up and he's like, what am I supposed to do with this? And I'm like, just go with it. Just go with it. Trust me, it'll last us another couple of years. Needless to say, I'm going to be a grandmother.
Oh.
But he's 22, so don't worry. It was with the right person.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing that we need to talk about, just real quick, is I have a little bit of a theory when it comes to social media and how people use it, and being able to detect whether someone's just a little off kilter. Now, we've all used Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You're on it constantly. My theory is this, and keep in mind, this is nothing scientific. This is just from my own personal, noticing on social media. The 3 things. Number 1 is when someone is constantly posting nothing but perfect pictures. They never post real pictures. And I'm talking real pictures where it's really you, not without filters. I think that it's good if you're using social media to, we all use filters, we do. Because to me, I started thinking about it. I was like, these Snapchat filters are kind of like the equivalent of glamour shots back in the 80s. Where you would go get all dressed up and everything would be perfect. But, be real, be yourself. The other thing that I noticed is someone's constantly posting older pictures. Like none of their pictures seem to be anything that's updated.
When Throwback Thursdays, like every day.
We're Throwback Thursdays every 20 minutes. Then you kind of realize that, something's going on with this person. And to me, the final thing is, and I know this sounds counterintuitive to what you see on social media, but I had somebody that I knew, they were constantly, I'm talking like every couple hours, posting positive thoughts and positive reaffirmations online. But it was constant. I mean, it was a constant like every 2 hours. And I was thinking this person has got to be the most like positive person in the world. And then she had an issue and she came to me and she's like, I was wondering if you could help me out. I kind of lost my job. I need help. And I'm thinking, this person's positive. Of course, I'll help you out. And then I came to realize the reason why this person needed help was because they weren't doing anything except for posting positive stuff on social media. It's like you're not getting anything done. You're just posting to the public. So moral to the story, what you see online may not necessarily reflect what's going on in person. All right, so Thanksgiving is coming up and the holidays. Did you know that engagement season is here? 40% of people get engaged during the holiday season. And if you don't have a ring on your finger, sometimes that can be a little bit stressful.
Just a little bit.
I have got tips and a guideline on how to handle that. Plus, since you are traveling for the holiday season, somebody just did something that is the most disgusting, foul thing on a flight. Oh, we have got to talk about that on the next episode of Imperfect by Design. Don't forget to join us on all the socials. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we're also on Twitter. Peace out.